Parents of P stars, how did you find out your child does P and how has it affected your relationship? Stoya did an AMA once and talked about her dad's reaction. He basically said that he still enjoyed P and was supportive of her career, but he hated using online sites anymore because he might see her. It was like navigating a minefield. Yeah, until you have kids of your own, P is just a field. My best friend found out his cousin was a gay P star, and using the money to pay for their grandma's private healthcare. He said he was proud of his cousin, and he's literally taking one for the team. That's the back door into heaven right there. Not my child, but a decently relevant story anyways. My high school health teacher was a P star. Some kid found his videos while looking for something to watch. Anyways, the kid told everyone at school, and even though the teacher didn't get in any trouble, things were never quite the same in his health classes after that. Ever seen a P star try to teach a group of teenagers about abstinence? That's a health class you should listen to. He knows his stuff when you get him to not talk about abstinence. I'm not a parent, but I was a P star with parents who found out. Initially, them finding out caused quite a bit of strain. My dad said that he considered disowning me, and both of my parents were concerned about the shame that would be brought upon them if their friend's family found out, as well as the repercussions for my future career family life. It was really tense for about 6 months. After the strain wore off, though, having gone through that together brought us closer than I could have possibly imagined. I went from feeling like I needed to hide from them that I went to Burning Man to talking about the sex parties that I went to. Talking about sex became completely no big deal with either of my parents, and my mom especially was always curious about the weird crap I am into. They went from being people that I had to hide so much of my life from to being my closest confidants. I suppose a lot of that had to do with the fact that once your kid comes out to you about doing P, there's really nothing crazier that they can say. So everything else, including my dad's chlamydia scare, doesn't faze us. I have such a unique relationship with my parents now with how incredibly close we are and how much we can talk about intimate aspects of our lives with each other with only support and advice and no shame or awkwardness. It's really a gift. Pretty amazing. Once your kid comes out to you about doing P, there's really nothing crazier that they can say. I feel like there's a challenge accepted follow-up that someone could do. If I were the parent of a P star, I'm pretty sure my life's mission would be to pretend the internet didn't exist, much less read it. Yet you have no shame in being salad oven butthole. I see her twice as often now. I'm not a parent, but a girl from my high school did one of those exploited college girls video, and from what I understand the first dinner after the town found out about it was an awkward experience of epic proportions. Not me, but my brother's teacher turned out to be a P star stripper, spread round like wildfire, and he got sacked from teaching. He taught health and sex ed. My brother said he was a pretty good teacher, also adopted a student or something. He's been allowed to teach a game though last I heard. They must be immune. Only thing that explains Brie Olsen. As long as she doesn't choke on something when she's over for dinner, we're good. If you're more interested in this topic, watch Hot Girls Wanted. It was on Netflix for a while. I actually went to high school with the girl who starred in it. I disowned my daughter, Lawrence Fishburne. I found out my daughter was doing a pee shoot on a boat. It peed the heck out of me. I swam out there, trashed some crap, and stole her back, getting away on a jet ski. The pee buttholes followed us with guns blazing, but I managed to lose them in a maze of waterways. She's still pee that I'm ruining her life. Freaking kids. Oh Michael. Former friend's parents found out through the rumor mill in our small town. He was deep into drugs and had recently moved to Florida. They weren't stupid people and knew he couldn't hold down a normal job to support his expensive addiction. He was pretty open about it with the few people he stayed in touch with and alluded to it on social media. Enough people found out that it got back to the parents. He ended up going missing a few months later. Some really shady people were financing his films and we suspect he tried to rip one of them off. He was stealing from everybody towards the end and likely messed with the wrong person. Well, she's amateur, but my little sister has always been upfront that it was something she wanted to do. I raised her, so I'm between parent and sibling. Made me feel super uncomfortable when she showed me a picture of her giving a beach. Really not a thing you want to see of your kid sister. Other than the fact that I'm not interested in seeing that, I don't care. She's a very smart girl that is just passionate about sexual liberation. Bang an army of dudes. I jaff. Just don't make me watch. It is like the world's biggest turn off. I am a 43-year-old father of two. My eldest daughter is 22 years old and basically announced to me a year and a half ago that she was working as a performer in the pee industry. Now, I have always been a pretty sex positive person, so I didn't really have a moral issue with it. But I know that there were people in our family who would not respond quite as well. I sat her down, poured us both a drink, and we had a long talk. I wanted to make sure that she wasn't wrapped up in something in the industry that was less than completely legit or dangerous. I didn't want her to get caught up in some sort of snuff thing, anything violent, or anything like that. I was pleased to discover that she was signed on with a well-known, rather above-board company. You would recognize it if you heard the name, that had a good track record regarding STDs and so on. All in all, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It has caused a great deal of friction in our family, however. Her grandmother on her mother's side has pretty much completely stopped talking to her, and to me, because I won't condemn her to the rest of the family. One of her uncles straight up accused me of molesting her as a child. Since how else would she have wound up like this? He has made it clear that me, my son, her, and her mother are not members of my family anymore, according to him. I argued that he was being a judgmental dong, but as you can imagine, that argument doesn't work very well with judgmental dongs. At one point he tried to slap her when she stood up for herself, and I had to put myself between them. It was pretty rough. His wife, my sister, was crying, and I think she might either cut off communication with me or else divorce her husband. She hasn't decided. After that altercation, my daughter started getting hostile with me, since it was my side of the family. I am not sure what else I could have done, but she kept saying I should have done something more. She was crying. I was screaming. It wasn't our best moment. Finally, I just wound up screaming at her. "What the heck do you want from me anyway?" she said. "I'm in need about tree fitty." It was at this moment that I realized that my daughter was 500 feet tall and from the Paleolithic era. God damn it. Great question, but not worth the shot without a serious tag. Not a parent, but found out an acquaintance of mine has done some videos. A mutual friend texted me one day like, "Please search up this name on any streaming P site and tell me who that really is." So I did, and he was right. I thought that part of her life had passed, but recently came across another of her videos that seems like it was made more recently than the old ones. She just got married, and I just wonder if she told him or if there's some awkward conversation coming up in her future. No parent of P stars. Saw this question in the front page, piqued curiosity, let down by answers. Should have used serious tags. OP. Now everyone is trying to score karma points with zingers. Not a parent or even family member, but apparently someone I dated in high school is now a P star. I'm not going to name names, but I'm currently 20 years old. I'm from Florida, and she's in the top 20 P stars on Pornhub. Needless to say, it was quite surprising to open up Pornhub one day and see her on the front page of my recommended tab. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.